Hello and welcome to episode 30 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff, man.
And Jeff, we have reached the holy day of video games. It is Friday, October 27th.
It's a holy day in entertainment in general because we have that. We have Stranger Things 2. We have Final Fantasy VII Abridged. Mission Abridged.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I was wondering where you were going when you said Final Fantasy VII. I was like, what?
Like, are you high?
The remake. It's happening right now, Darby.
You didn't see it? I put it in the news.
Then I would leave here, go to my PlayStation.
Shadow drop. Monday. Sony's conference.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they did that? They came out at Paris, like, they're about to leave Paris Games Week, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way.
You can play Final Fantasy VII Remake now.
Right now on your PlayStation.
And your smartphones. Because we love you guys.
Well, no, Jeff, it's not Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is actually, though, Mario.
Yes.
Jeff, you own Super Mario Odyssey. You have been able to play it for roughly how many hours?
4?
Okay, that's a pretty good amount.
Played to 4, somewhere between there.
Literally got it on the way back from school today, right? Or did you come out yesterday?
I came back yesterday.
Ah, okay.
Because the magician was sick. That's all I will say.
Jeff, how's Mario?
It's pretty great so far, Darby.
Well, I mean, like, get into it. You've been wanting this game for so long. Like,
yep.
How, like, what?
Darby, we first saw clips of this game a year ago. Over a year ago.
That is weird to think. Like, I remember that first trailer, and everyone was...
Well, not the trailer, but it was in the Switch debut thing. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah, but go ahead.
When was the trailer with the people?
January.
Everyone was freaking out about. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was part of the. Okay. Yeah.
Switch event.
Yeah, I was just gonna say in that trailer, I remember people were like, I said it at the time, I'll say it now. People were like completely overreacting about the like human people in the trailer, and they were like, "What is this garbage?" He's like whatever. He's traveling around,
getting Sonic flashbacks.
I don't know. I felt like it was a complete overreaction the whole time.
Yeah,
but. How the controls, the art, the platforming, everything? I don't know how much you've done actually in the game in 4 hours, but
okay. Well, I don't know how many worlds there exactly are because I'm trying to avoid spoilers where I can, of course. But I've been in kingdoms. I've been to 4 kingdoms right now. Because everything's really open. There's a kind of weird thing with this. There is kind of a story thing going on in a way, or I feel like more than other, kind of Mario games, to where you go to a kingdom and you have a mission you try to do. Okay. And then once you finish that story mission, the whole world opens up and more stuff happens.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I mean, you can kind of like before you finish one world, you can kind of go to another one or something.
Yeah.
That was pretty okay.
Because there's really no finishing unless you get all the moons, and they vary greatly the amount between each one. Like the first one, technically I've not gotten any moons there because you can't get any moons, and there you just beat a boss and then you really go to the game or whatever. So that one, the first one, the Hat Kingdom, not really a spoiler. They said that was the first game or kingdom you're going to start with. Yeah. It had like 17 moons, I think it says. And then you go to the next one, which has like 25 or something moons, and then you get to the next one which has 69 moons. So they vary greatly.
Noise.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything open, and you find the moons are pretty easy to find. They're everywhere.
I heard there's like, is it true? Like I've never had it verified.
Some are literally.
Are there actually like as many moons as like Korok seeds? Like was that a true thing?
There've been rumors. There are over 900. There might even be 1,000 of them.
What in the world?
So
it's so weird. It's like we can't like. I feel like moons aren't actually like analogous to stars in old games. Like it's kind of just something different because there's nowhere near like that many stars like in other games. It's not the same type of thing at all.
I guess it's one thing depending how you feel. Like it could be a negative that stars are more of an event because there are less of them.
Right.
But it's still satisfying in the moon. And there are so many of them, and they're somewhat easy to get. And it's a good thing is because you're getting so many of them so quickly. You're just staying busy.
Yeah.
And it is the same thing as I'm sure you now are experiencing in Zelda. You're trying to get a one thing, and then you see something shiny, and you're like, okay, sidetracking.
But the difference in Zelda, it's all right, fine. I'll go get this Korok seed. I'll listen to the guy say "Tweehee" at me, and I'll be like, okay, get away, get out of my sight. I'm guessing moons don't bring you quite as much anger as seeing the Koroks do for me. Especially part of the reason I am 100,000%. I'm calling it now. I am never, ever, ever. It's never going to happen. I'm not going to get 900 Korok seeds. That's never, ever going to happen.
Darby, I don't even know if I got 100.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. When I see them, it's like, okay, I saw it. Yeah. Of course, I have to do it now. Yeah. But it's I'm not going to look. At it.
It's not. Yeah. Don't actively try to find them. It's not worth it.
But in your experience, have all the moons been fun to get? I mean,
I guess depending how you look at it, there are ones that are literally just out in the middle of nowhere. You kind of have to maybe travel to get to. So it's depending how you find that fun. But overall, yeah, they've been fun.
Yeah, and some of them are harder to get. And
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. What I like about, again, this is not really a spoiler or anything because shown in demos and stuff. If it's like demos and trailers stuff, I'll try to more freely say.
Right.
But there are these hat door things you can go into. They're like, in a way, challenge rooms.
Okay.
Kind of, sort of. That when you get to the end, you get one moon, and then so far in all those rooms, there's one other moon that you got to go up the path, and there might be more hidden.
Okay.
You could try to find. So there was one of them I got to, and it's like, I didn't see the path, so I went back in there. I looked around, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what I do. So
cool. I really want to get into it. Everyone says it does feel like the most open Mario probably ever. Yeah. It feels more of it's weird to call them open world, but I mean semi. There's just lots of things to do in one space, right?
Yeah. It's more of I guess this is just pretty much the same thing, but sandbox thing.
Yeah.
So you have a bunch of sandboxes to go in because of all the worlds.
Right.
And like I said, they can vastly their sizes varied greatly between them so far, which I'm okay with. Yeah. It's either then if they're all the same, you have them pretty small, you have you would assume less really big worlds that then you're just probably moving more around in empty space.
Yeah.
They can more fill things out.
Yeah. What about the controls?
They feel pretty good. I think I used to them real quick for some reason, or a little bit for some reason. I don't know why, but
I've heard that a few times. Yeah. People saying that it didn't immediately make sense.
Then once I got used to them,
you've been possessing some fools.
Of course I have.
What all have you possessed so far?
Of course Goombas. Oh, and not really a surprise, but in the trailer, the first thing you do is a frog. You go into its mind, and then it goes in the first person mode. You're looking for Mario's. I think the frog looks at his froggy arms.
And you actually, if you listen really closely, you can hear the frog screaming. It's really brutal. It's just so just broad spectrum. I don't know what that word was. Just broad look. I think my favorite Mario's are Super Mario 64 and Galaxy. Am I gonna love this game? I mean,
Darby, I've been seeing this, and of course, I'm only 4 hours in, 3-4 hours in. This might be the Sequel 64 everyone's wanted. I mean, that's what people have been saying.
Yeah, that's what
this is about as close to Sequel 64 as any other leading Mario game.
Yeah, if somehow you're listening to this and you haven't really heard, there's been all the review scores came out yesterday, recording this on Friday.
97 on Metacritic. That could change because they're only 60 something reviews, but
almost all the major outlets is getting 10s everywhere. I mean, the lowest
I saw was a 70.
And where even was that? Because most of the major outlets,
that was a random site. Oh, and he said
most of the major.
He pretty much says if you're in love with this game, you're just a sheeple. Cappy is controlling.
That's dumb.
It's one of those things. Okay, you can have your opinion, but you're not making us want to take your opinion seriously.
I don't take your opinion seriously when you start doing something like that. Yeah. Review the game for the game, not the culture around it. Yeah, that's stupid. But all the major sites, the lowest I saw was maybe a 90. And it's this thing, Yeah, it's exploding. Everyone's
all
okay.
About it. I'm gonna bring it up. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid spoilers because this is kind of like Zelda. It's one of those games that's weird. You can kind of compare it to Zelda in a lot of ways. But the joy of this game is kind of discovering things for yourself.
Right.
It's a little in a different way, but all the charming things and a lot of, can I do this? Oh yeah, I can. Kind of stuff like that. So I'm trying to avoid that stuff right now.
I think everything we've talked about is just like controls and like just exploring the world. It's like nothing.
All the worlds are pretty and everything. Everything's just great. And I'm liking so far the again, I'm only in like the 4th one, but enemies haven't really been repeating or whatever. So I mean, I'm sure they will, but other than their Goombas in multiple worlds that I've seen so far. But I think they're doing a good job of at least splitting up the Mario enemies to make it feel like more they fit into this world and making the worlds kind of feel like a little more like, or the kingdoms more like their kind of thing. Even in 2 of them, they're... Okay, I've been to the Sand Kingdom with the little skeleton dudes.
Okay.
And then there's another one with, at least as far as, unless I'm really forgetting something, other like made up people for that kingdom. So... assume they're going to keep on doing that, and I think that's nice. Yeah. You have new kind of Mario species to use, and make the kingdom stand apart. But yeah, what I was going to bring up, is this was posted, I think, on Kotaku, at least Kotaku, probably some other ones, yesterday, talking about the motion controls in the game. There are motion controls in the game. I think you can turn them off, but it's kind of to your detriment. Because certain moves are tied to motion controls. Like with the hat, you press Y or X or whatever on the Joy-Cons or Pro Controls, whatever you're going to do to just throw the hat straight.
Yeah.
But to do fancy things like throw the hat in the circle or up or down, you got to do stuff with the motion controls.
Is there any solution to do it without him?
No, you can... No.
So can you just not do those moves if you don't have motion controls on? Or is it just cumbersome, or is it just...
I mean, the main problem with it, I played it on the TV with the Joy-Con grip.
Right.
It suggests you do it with separate Joy-Con, but I'm like, nah. I'm going to do it with the grip.
I've yet to play with them separate. It just seems terrible. It seems like something I would never want to do. But
yeah. So I play with the Joy-Con. That's fine.
Okay.
Like, and I heard the Pro Controller is the same way. The problem is going to be in handheld mode.
Yeah.
Which
you have to like shake this thing. Yeah, motion controls on a thing that you're holding and looking at does not seem like it would work well because inherently you're not going to be able to see the screen because you have to move the screen to move the Joy-Cons.
And I have in that article they had say there were a couple of them that you needed motion controls to get, like a couple moons.
Okay.
But they say there was like. I think it was Laura Kate Dale, it's a name from Kotaku UK, saying like she got to like 400 or something moons at least, but it was only like 2 out of those that knew that. So it's not like a crazy amount. Yeah. And if you're doing it in handheld mode, I had to do this for Zelda. I don't know if you did during some of the shrines. I had to take the Joy-Cons off, set it in tabletop mode, and do some fancy stuff, the motion controls.
I've yet to use motion controls for Zelda. But...
You're going to have to.
Okay.
I had to do that for handheld, and I really don't care.
I don't even know what the motion control would be in Zelda. Like,
well, I think you can do it for the bow and arrow and stuff. And there's certain...
That sounds horrible. But I mean, like, I need to see. I need to try it. But.
It's just for a quick precision thing. It's not like, you do just that.
Yeah.
And you can you probably are kind of using it, but you're not really doing it because you're using the stick. If you're the archery stuff, I think. Yeah. There are certain puzzle things, but... if I just got for those couple moons, I can take Joy-Cons off, put in tabletop mode for a couple minutes, put back on. I really don't care, but this is... I'm sure they've looked at other options, but it's the thing that kind of sucks. You get a more annoying experience if you're in handheld mode for the most part, or you're down moves.
Which sucks because from what I've heard, that's the mode like most people like to play in handheld mode. But
I'm not playing in handheld mode, so I don't know how bad it is, but I can imagine it not maybe being as bad as some people say.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Except for certain things.
I mean, if it's not like constant, and if there is some way to do it, I mean, it kind of sucks if there's just like no way to do these things, in this mode. That kind of defeats the purpose of the Switch. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's something we'll have to see, and I might be able to see because I'm actually getting the game. Like I haven't downloaded it, but a friend bought the digital, but didn't want it, so I'm buying the code. I'm going to be downloading.
Well, she didn't buy the digital by itself. She bought the bundle.
Yeah,
the Switch bundle.
So I might be able to talk about some on the podcast next week. I'm probably going to focus most of my attention on Zelda just to do one thing at a time and not try to juggle both of those games.
Yeah. And I'll try to get maybe more in-depth impressions later once I played more. And especially if Darby did. Maybe we can make that a main topic.
How this podcast has gone is like we'll get your opinions as they develop through the next.
But again, if you play, maybe we do that as the topic. So people want it's. You know, people want to leave when you say, "Okay, this is happening now. This is going to be it." So you can leave if you want to.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else on Mario?
Yes. Well, not Mario.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm done for that now. You had a story in here, and I cut it out because it involved something I played. The Sonic Forces demo.
Okay. I didn't even know this. I kind of forgot about that. Yeah.
I cut it out because I was going to be here. Okay, so Sega was nice enough to release a Sonic Forces demo in Japan only. So I downloaded that. In Japanese, of course. Can't read anything. It's like, okay, this is fine. You know, get to try all the different things. You go in. You can only play a minute at a time.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Like per stage, right?
Yes. Yeah. And then, of course, when you go back in, you start at the very beginning.
Jeff, regale us with what exactly you're able to do in 1 minute in a Sonic Forces stage.
You gotta go fast. You go fast, Darby.
Alright, yeah, you collected some rings, I imagine.
Yes. Like, okay, I guess I can break it down by the characters or whatever. The 3 different things. Because they broke it down, you did one stage as modern Sonic.
Yeah, like, you played it a minute at a time. I'm surprised you have anything to break down, but, I mean...
I feel like I can kind of do it, a feeling as a guy who likes Sonic. So I kind of give that. These are in no way, like, I guess, great impressions, but I can just kind of say it. Well, of course, the demo itself is awful just by the 1 minute thing. I'm just going to throw it out there. Modern Sonic, it's modern Sonic. But I feel like modern Sonic, for the most part, is getting dumbed down continuously because it was literally a thing I just press forward and go. Classic Sonic, it's a boss fight. That was fine. It's like classic Sonic, but I got Sonic Mania.
We have the perfected classic Sonic already.
Yeah. And
what do you bring to the table, Forces?
And then we have the creative character. That was not... I don't like it.
Did it make you actively feel uncomfortable, Jeff?
No, not that. It just didn't feel good to play. I don't know how to describe it. Like you use a grappling hook and stuff, and like, this doesn't feel great. And then you have a weapon that doesn't feel great.
So just like the modes that you play with your created character and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, I thought you meant like the actual act of creating the character was.
Oh no, they have a couple pre-made characters to go in there. You don't actually make it.
Oh, you don't even make your.
It's a 1 minute demo. You have to make it every time.
Oh, okay. I thought like in the game in general. I was like,
that
was one of the selling points.
No, yeah, you'll do that. They have a couple for the demo.
Yeah. Well, they could at least let you do something. Yeah, I mean, like, just like just in a concept, a Sonic game with a 1 minute timer. Like, what could you possibly do in 1 minute that would like make you feel like, should I buy this game or not?
Oh,
that's just.
I don't have the exact quote or whatever, but they actually Sega actually talked about it on a live stream they had the other day. I think it might have been US people, whatever. They're like, there was supposed to be a Japanese only demo, but some of our other fans are crafty. They were able to get it. They're saying,
because it's so hard.
Yeah, or I might be saying it wrong, so don't take everything I say as like them sounding smug or whatever, or sarcastic or anything. Yeah. Exactly. I'm just kind of generalizing what they said. But one thing they said, the Japanese demo was, of course, made for the Japanese fans, and it makes more sense why the Western audience may not care for that kind of demo. And like, this demo isn't for anyone.
No, like, how do you can't even experience the game in 1 minute. Yeah. Like, that's nothing.
What are you saying about the Eastern or Japanese audiences either?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just Sega being Sega. It's just really stupid.
Yeah. Oh, and
I mean, to me, it almost feels like, I don't want to overreact, but I mean, like, all right, real talk, this game's gonna be terrible. I think we all know this game's not gonna be that good. But so this almost feels like, we can't let them play too much of it because then they won't want to buy it. So let's let them play just enough to where they don't really have a good grasp on what the game is.
But watching Derek from Mechanics play and doing it was funny because he didn't know the time limit thing going in. He was just playing. It's like, oh yeah, it's Sonic, blah blah blah. And it's like, then it faded to black and said, thanks for playing. He's like, wait, what happened? I wasn't done with the level. He went back in and okay, let's try again. Then he noticed the 1 minute timer halfway through.
That's really, really, really stupid.
Yeah.
There's kind of no point. I'm surprised you even downloaded the demo. It just seems.
I was just curious. I didn't know about the 1 minute thing at the time.
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'll give it a try. Why not?
I mean, why not? But
I wasn't gonna get the game anyway. But I definitely not getting it. Oh, okay. Let's be honest. I was never getting this game.
I don't know. Who knows, Jeff? I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna assume.
This, like 2 weeks after Mario. Come on.
All right,
Come
Jeffrey.
on, man.
Is that all you got?
I believe so.
All right. Well, I don't really have much new to report on Zelda, and we don't. We've kind of.
Yeah.
This was your Mario time to shine.
Yep.
So. Yes.
I could have done better. I'm sorry, people.
Oh, what? No, Jeff, you did great. Jeff, let's get on to the news. News jingle.
Jingle, jingle, jangle.
We have more upsetting news.
Yeah. Okay. So, before we actually get in the news, I'm just going to say this about the news. As far as us doing, me reading the news or whatever, I'm trying to do more. I mentioned this kind of last week. I'm trying to do less of the straight reading so we get more of the talking faster, you know. And just trying to more focus on the points. So a lot of these things I have more straight to the point things. Yeah. I'm still going to give credit for the people that are due, but when it's this stuff like release dates or just very general things like that, I'm just going to pretty much just say it. Yeah. And that just means if I don't give say someone from like a site or whatever or give credit to anyone, that just means I got it from the developers or something. Yes. The official account for the game. I wanted to say that. Yep. So yeah. And for this first story, well, we're gonna be talking about the NeoGAF debacle.
Yep. I mean, if you listened to us last week, you probably assumed that we're gonna talk about this.
But okay, the way this is gonna go is I'm going to just kind of mainly summarize this stuff, especially the whole I guess sexual harassment.
We're gonna focus more on the NeoGAF side of it and just like what's gonna happen from there. But if you want to like read more of like the full situation here, there's great reporting at the Kotaku.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of this stuff just kind of getting the information. Make sure I have it right from Patrick Keplik. Yeah, Keplik from Waypoint. Yeah. He has a very in-depth article. That's pretty much where I'm getting this stuff from. Yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to summarize main points for that as far as stuff. Just kind of set up the idea of what, Tyler Malka, also known as Evil Lord, the CEO, creator, whatever, of NeoGAF has done.
Right. All right.
Or allegedly done.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get started with that. Okay, first thing, as far as stuff from the article. Tyler Evilor Malka has been accused of sexual harassment by filmmaker Ima Loop. I think we're pronouncing that right.
We think so, yeah, at least.
Loop claimed that the two have been heavily drinking and she later became sick in a hotel room, and this is like from 2015 in New Orleans. While cleaning up in the shower, he approached her fully naked from behind. Yeah. And at the time, Loop had a boyfriend, and Evil Laura knew it and all that kind of stuff. They were friends. Yeah. Okay.
And I was gonna say this like all came from like a Facebook post.
Yeah,
like,
part of the Me Too campaign.
Yeah. And moved on from that.
Yeah. Okay, and then Malka pushed back against the story, and he called Loop a deeply disturbed, malicious individual, and called the incident totally harmonious and consensual. She called his insistence that such an event was consensual delusional. Malka and Loop did have consensual sex one time after the shower incident. That's important thing pointed in there. And there's more on this in the Waypoint article, but we're just going to summarize this. They went to a trip to eat league with friends or whatever, and things really went bad for them, and they, hate each other pretty much afterwards.
Yeah, it was very, And there's been, since this has come out, and, I think some of it, Jeff's a lot more active on NeoGAF than I am. I think there's been some shady things in this past.
The reason this kind of blew up the way it did, if it's just an isolated thing, it might not have gone the way they did, but there's
Yeah.
some prior stuff with Malka, including him bragging about what's pretty much sexual harassment on NeoGAF. Like,
Right.
you can see the forum post. There's a link to it in the Waypoint article.
Yeah.
And another main thing, which, if you ever heard, pretty much all the mods but 2 left. There was an incident that pretty much kind of led up to that, like making the mods fed up, and it was NeoGAF user and former mod, Amarox, has a 0 on them, it's pronounced that way, was arrested on child porn charges. And in this case, the mods and the users waited for Evil or Malka to release a statement, and when it took him a long time to get done, a lot longer than it should have.
Right.
And then when he did, it was not a very good statement or whatever. He was pretty much claiming we didn't even know his real name, so that's why we waited, and everyone knew that was BS. And the way it went, everyone got mad at the mods instead, and that built some tension between the
So
two.
basically, this is just to say this is not like the first time this happened, and
This is not an isolated incident.
no, and it's kind of been something building up at NeoGAF, like the moderators and stuff. There's been some of them already said that they like thought about leaving back then and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if this was something where there was no history or something, Malcolm might have gotten more of a benefit of the doubt from like NeoGAF, but like this was kind of just a breaking point.
Yeah.
So basically, like, yeah, from that,
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of go in through a timetable what happened after.
yeah, Jeff knows more than that. So.
I'll try to make sure I remember everything important. So yeah, the site went down Saturday night when we were at a concert. We got afterwards like, what's going on? And then, yeah, the site went down. Everyone's like, what's going on? A bunch of NeoGAF users spread it out to a bunch of different like sites and became refugees.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. So I was following all the stuff on another site called Slant. Just shout out to them. They were very cool about the whole thing.
That's good.
And there was okay, the mods left after Evil Lord gave a statement to the mods, like in the mods forum.
Right.
And that's when they left. And it leaked. And we had people like connect to the mods on these forums saying, yeah, that's real. And wow. Well, let's just say there was a Scientologist like sex cult thing in there. I meant to show you beforehand, Darby. I'll let you know later. Just reading that, there's a reason the mods left, if it's true.
Yeah.
And I believe it is, based on everything. Okay. And then the site went back up, and Evil Lord gave his official statement. And I'm just going to read off like 2 sentences or couple sentences here. This is how he started out with it. Hi, an allegation of sexual misconduct has been made against me by an ex. It's not true. The eventual making the accusation, it's incredible. The story doesn't reconcile logically with the facts, and there's plenty of evidence and witnesses to corroborate that. It'll be a process. None of this evidence and witnesses have come up since then. And then a statement on the mods leaving. Before I could finish a statement and get it out there, understandably, some mods hit their emotional limit, expressed concerns about the community coming after them, and decided to leave. A few people resigned, and many more quickly followed for similar reasons, citing stress and harassment. From what I've heard from mods, this isn't true. They're like, these reasons aren't why.
Okay.
It was pretty much the way Evil Lord handled all this life, and not the whole stress thing. Okay. It could have been this case for some of them, but for the majority. And under it, Modbot gave a statement, which is what moderators use to shut down forums on stuff, which is part of the reason people had a problem with NeoGAF moderation and stuff, but we'll get into that later. He talked said the NeoGAF's now going to have a return to the focus mainly on games.
Yeah.
Off Topic was closed down, and Off Topic community, they have since been added back on there.
Yeah, but isn't it, correct me if I'm wrong, it's only going to be focusing now on like TV and like
again, that they said
film and stuff.
Political and social discourse will not be allowed the new Off Topic stuff, claiming it made the site too toxic.
Right.
And he said, now all moderation will be anonymous, so you won't even know who the mods are. Which, there are a whole lot of other problems.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a fix.
Yep. And just a couple other things to pretty much say what the rest of it happened. Former members are not happy with how Evil Lord handled things and started nuking accounts in various ways and asked for permabans.
Yeah, there's lots of that.
There was a lot of funny ones. Some people went a little far with porn. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, now former mods and members have made a new forum called Resetera or Resetera.
Yeah, we can't. I don't know. What are you calling right now? Reset era or Resetera?
I don't know. I'm going back and forth. Resetera has a certain thing to it. It flows well.
I like Resetera.
Yeah.
I think Resetera sounds cool. When I saw it, I did not think Resetera at all. I saw it.
When I first saw the name leaked, I was like, I don't like this because it sounds like a reference to NeoGAF that you're resetting things.
Oh, it is. It 100% is. Even if
I
they
don't
call
like it from that thing.
Even if they call it refer to it as Resetera, it's
yeah.
They did that for a reason. Yeah.
I don't like necessarily. I like the name overall. I don't like that part of it.
I feel like it should stand on its own more. But yeah.
Oh, and I'll say this. As far as the Resetera thing, they pretty much said no talk of NeoGAF anymore. Yeah. Or Tyler in there, or numbering up. Which I kind of understand for some points. Clean slate, and people discuss it in other forums in Discord a lot.
And they kind of want to move on for those and whatever. So, if this is basically the end of... so basically now...
A lot shorter than what would have been.
After this whole, incident happened, NeoGAF is still a thing. It is still online, and there are still, some normal discussions going on. But at least, correct me if I'm wrong, at least going forward, it kind of seems like if there's going to be, what the service that NeoGAF provided before in the community and the news aggregation and everything there, most of that's going to be on, Resetera probably now at this point.
Most of the main members, big contributors left. Everyone who posted a lot of gaming stuff, the gaming insiders left, there are less of them now, but anyone who's on, developers left, news people left, they went there. And as far as off topic goes, that's dead. Every major contributor to that, not even just the political side, but TVs and movies and stuff, went over to Resetera.
Yeah. So I kind of see no way that NeoGAF can stay relevant if they don't have those people. It's just gonna. I don't know what NeoGAF will become, but
It probably become like any other gaming forum. It's not a bad thing, but it just won't be the go-to thing for the gaming news or even just TV news and stuff. Because I got a lot of that stuff there.
Yeah,
because everyone posted that.
To me, NeoGAF was always basically. I just use NeoGAF kind of as a video game news aggregator. Every now and then, I would go there to see what new things or if I wanted more information on something. I never really followed threads. I never clicked on the off-topic thing. I had a very kind of passive use of NeoGAF, and usually I would get the news after it's gone off NeoGAF to the IGNs of the world. Yeah. But you were a lot more you didn't post, but you were reading things. You were a lot more in the community.
I was on there every day.
So how does this feel to you? Do you feel okay because Resetera is going to be here, or does this impact you?
I felt really confused after it was all going on. I was like, okay, so what's going to happen now? What am I going to do with my internet time? Well, actually go outside or something. No, just joking.
No, we would never go outside.
Yeah. Well, I actually play video games instead of read about it. But I feel fine about it because it wasn't the name of NeoGAF some people that are stuck on NeoGAF now are saying, or people that are sticking around or adamant about it. It was the people in the community and stuff. Yeah, and like you said, the news and stuff, which obviously a big reason I went there. That's all moved to Resetera. When after NeoGAF came back up, I looked at it and I didn't recognize anyone other than people who were nuking their accounts. And when I went to Resetera, I recognized about everyone very recognizable to me was there.
Right.
I was looking through friends oh, they're there and they're there. Yes.
So for a few days there, you probably thought that you were just never going to get this again, right? Or at least just not anywhere near the same.
It quickly came out they were going to do the whole Resetera thing, but I was a little worried. How is this going to work out? Because some stuff leading up to it made me hearing okay, it's going to be the same. It originally started a rumor that all the same mods were going to do it, moderators and stuff, and that made me kind of because some of them, some of the complaints people have in NeoGAF is warranted for sure.
Oh yeah.
But they have over double the mods now on Resetera, and only, as far as I know, one of them carries over. And I haven't even seen the other mods.
So do you think that Resetera could kind of fix the problems that people have with NeoGAF? And if you're listening to this, NeoGAF is kind of a hardcore gamer type thing. A lot of people listening to this might not even know much about NeoGAF. But some of the complaints hurled at NeoGAF was like kind of the toxicity in some of the threads and stuff, and like the knee-jerk reactions, and then like the political threads. Some of those got really nasty. I mean, do you see
pretty left-leaning?
Do you see? Yeah, I mean, like to a like insane extent sometimes. Like they would like tear people down before they knew anything, and like it got bad sometimes. Do you see Resetera being better in any way, or do you kind of just see it being like an extension of NeoGAF?
I think it's too early to tell because, again, they're new mods, so what they let go by, as far as like people going too far, the knee-jerk reactions might be different. Like how far they let it go might be different. There are more of them, so more opinions, and there are some of them that I know had problem with the way NeoGAF was moderated, so that can be some change as far as that front. Though there is one that was, I'm not gonna name names, that was the most politically charged post on there. He's a mod. Everyone's like, should he be a mod? But I like the dude overall, so I like all the people they did as mods, but part of me is like, okay, these are very good posters. Doesn't mean they make good mods.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
There even a couple of them I was like, and I saw people agree, it's like, this guy's too nice, he can't ban anyone. But again, they're like double the
definitely it seems like being a moderator would be a thankless job. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't want to do it.
There's some insider stuff, like, I don't know, I don't follow them crazy on Twitter and stuff, but Shinobi I know is some people might recognize the name, and Nabel and stuff. Those are like big Twitter guys who people getting their information funds from, and just cool video game Twitter dudes. They're administrators on there. They're like top of the food chain on there, so that makes people happy. And yeah, I'm seeing more video game personalities post on there. Some people I have not seen on NeoGAF for a while, some are posting there and stuff.
Cool.
And it seems like everyone's making over. Like I know Jason Schreier is, and Patrick Keplik, and kind of funny guys. And so overall, I hate this happened. Just in just a general sense, and but I'm glad everything's working out.
It kind of seems like maybe like regardless of obviously, I mean, we have some strong inclinations, but obviously none of these allegations or nothing has been proven. But it just kind of seems like regardless, this might have been a necessary change anyway. Because there's a lot of people
I was about to I was before we started this conversation, I'm meaning to bring this up, and I just remembered, so I'm gonna say it. I kind of guess what you were saying. The main reason people left for a lot of them was not the allegations. Yeah, it was Evil Laura's behavior kind of up to that, and the way he handled it. Yeah, that was the main thing, and that's what some people aren't getting. But it
was kind of like, even if these allegations are untrue, it's just the way that he handled it was not.
I hate to kind of call him out. Well, they didn't follow this stuff as much as I did, so I understand. Like, kind of funny, Games Daily talked about this a little bit, and I think one of them said something about she was surprised, like, the mods leaving after, like, why now or whatever, but they kind of left out some information or whatever that gives some context to why the mods left. Right. So I kind of want to bring that up. I don't blame them for not knowing. Yeah. You have to follow this stuff pretty closely. I get it.
I'm glad I have you on here, or I might look like that idiot who doesn't know things,
So yeah, it's not just as simply allegations, like
I mean, like, I don't know enough about the community, but we'll definitely be talking about this more. I'm interested to see. I hope that it.
I mean, I want to see how it goes, because you look at GAF and some people are saying like, oh, it's just a honeymoon period on Resetera. I'm like, yeah, you do have a point there. It might die down a little bit, but again, they keep on getting more members all the time. Yeah. I just signed up right before this, finally able to sign up. So I haven't got the confirmation email. They gotta see if they let me in, but but yeah, like, if you followed GAF for news, go to Resetera, because that's the way it is now. GAF's dead right now. I'm not saying it couldn't pick up, but right now,
R.I.P.
Most of the posts I'm seeing, there are people asking for an invite to Resetera.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, Jeffrey.
Okay.
Hopefully this can be the end of kind of upsetting news for a while, but I'm hoping.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it's for that. This stuff's happening more and more, as it should. People bring up the stuff. It's good the stuff's coming out, but
I'm like, do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's like I hope that we don't like these things happen, but we don't hear about them. I just hope they stop happening. Like I hope the actual events stop happening. No, as long as they do, I will talk about it because I think it's important. I think it's important to talk about these things. So yeah, please, thank you. I don't want people to get me wrong.
Yeah. I know it's a confusing thing to kind of say, but yeah, we good. Okay, so we'll start to the regular, happier overall news stories. Okay, this first thing's from Lucy O'Brien from IGN. We're talking about the Animal Crossing mobile game.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't start out the way I wanted to joke around. I was gonna say something. Okay.
All right.
Well, Darry, this week we had a Nintendo Direct.
This what now? I'm sorry.
This week we had a Nintendo Direct.
Oh, we did have a Nintendo Direct. Were you pumped, Jeff?
You know it.
Did you stay up and get excited?
Oh yeah, this thing was late. No way. I forgot it was at like 11 here.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty late. Yeah. I mostly just saw everyone talking about it the next morning. That's when I heard.
We finally heard information about the Animal Crossing mobile game, which we heard like 2 years ago or something.
Right.
It was like the first one announced. It was announced before I think Super Mario Run.
It was. I kind of forgot about it for a while, to be honest.
But we now know it's called, the mobile game is called Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. Yes. And here's the information about it. It will launch for free on iOS and Android mobile late November. And apparently some people can get it now for weird reasons. People can look that up.
In Australia. I think it's released in Australia. If you change your region to Australia, you can get it.
That's why, okay. In the game, instead of a town, you manage a campsite. You gather material to craft furniture. You can make this easy by earning leaf tickets in-game or by buying with real money. That's how they get you.
Granted, just quick aside, I have heard people who have been playing it, like the Australia version, said they were getting leaf tickets like very, 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 very fast.
Okay.
So it didn't seem like it was a problem, but
you will see. And you can level up your friendship with all the various furry friends. I think that was the wording they had in the article, so I kept it. Okay, you can invite people by exchanging in-game player IDs or be visited by random player avatars who can be befriended. There are day-night cycles. There are multiple places to visit, such as Sunburst Island and Saltwater Shores. Yeah, they actually had like a fair amount of places to go. I thought it was just going to be the campsite the way they showed in the beginning, but there are multiple sites, which is good.
That's good.
There's also a marketplace where familiar Animal Crossing faces hold stores that sell furniture, items, clothing, and shoes. And the customization includes choosing to be a boy or a girl with options to change eye, hair, and skin color, and your camper, which acts like your home. You can even add a second story. And there will be seasonal events.
So, Jeff, this thing is going to sell like crazy.
I'm just going to say this right now, just based on what I saw in the Direct. They're doing this right.
Yeah.
As far as like doing an Animal Crossing mobile game, I'm not an Animal Crossing fan. I'm not going to play this, but as an outsider, I'm like, yes, like you said, this is going to make money. They're doing this right.
We're not saying anything about it. It's just me and Jeff have never been drawn to like Animal Crossing or Animal Crossing style games, but we know a lot of people who are. And while I don't play Animal Crossing, I know a lot of people who have, so I've seen a lot of Animal Crossing. And this, it does not look like a crappy phone version of Animal Crossing. It looks like
it's
they're
just
doing
a smaller version of it, which it should be.
Yes.
I think it's right. This gives people the Animal Crossing fix and builds it up to when they announce this Switch version. People are like, okay, bigger Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Better Animal Crossing.
Kind of hold you over. And you don't want it to be too complicated or do anything when it's on your phone. But this is going to be something people like waiting in line for coffee, like doing this.
When I saw
everyone's going to be like, especially with how like interconnected, like when you play Animal Crossing you are with your friends. That's going to be such a thing.
Yeah. Like when I saw it was watching it, that it was the campsite, I was like, okay, this is smart.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think this means for the Switch version coming later? Like, do you think they'll try to like rush or like they'll try to like speed that along and get that out while it's hot with Animal Crossing? And also, do you think people are gonna want that as much as
that's what I was thinking. This like of how in depth this thing is, like, or how it looks anyway, and what it sounds like it is. It makes me think, Will this kind of push back the Switch Animal Crossing? Will this make people do, or the way to this potentially dies?
Have they confirmed the Switch Animal Crossing?
They have not. That's just something like that. That's just pretty much something. When people like, okay, Animal Crossing is one of the biggest franchises. The last one was on the 3DS.
They very well might not. I mean, if the phone one does well enough and like continues doing well enough, they can keep the attach rate.
Yeah.
Like Pokemon Go obviously was crazy, but the attach rate did not stay.
Yeah.
Because they weren't able to support it. This, I would at least hope that the Animal Crossing people are more aware of the onslaught, like the overflow of people they're about to get more than Niantic was. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I could see it going either way. I could see it pushing people towards a Switch version, or I could see it kind of taking away the steam of it.
Yeah, but everyone was talking about the Switch version coming next year now. I mean, admittedly, I think most people were saying like late next year, but with this, I'm like, would they do that though now? Because they can make money off this.
They might want to ride this out until it's...
Because if people get the Switch version, this becomes... I mean, not completely obsolete, but for the people who have a Switch, that probably becomes obsolete.
And I wonder, like, is the Switch version just going to be kind of your normal Animal Crossing? Or are they going to have to try to go to the drawing board to, like, find something to give someone a different type of experience? Because I don't know, like...
The thing they can do with that, unless they really change it up, the thing, well, I know they can do in Animal Crossing is just make it bigger.
yeah.
And give you more stuff to do, especially, bigger and stuff than this, so.
Yeah.
So, there's one thing in the Direct I found funny. Every time they brought up microtransaction, the Leaf tickets, they had Tom Nook up there. I thought that was fitting. They knew what they were doing.
Subliminal messaging.
Okay. So, you ready to move on, Darby?
I am, Jeff.
Okay, so we're getting to the point where I'm going to start doing that whole just saying the
new dates for you.
Okay, and, well, date/announcements.
Yeah.
Okay, first things first. If people might remember, at the January Switch event, the Atlas teased a new Shin Megami Tensei game.
Yes.
It has been officially confirmed to be Shin Megami Tensei 5. And get hyped. It is a Switch exclusive, and technically it is only confirmed for Japan.
I don't think I knew that last part, but...
Because it was...
The amount of people I saw excited about it, I thought that it was...
the Switch event was a Japanese event, and this was a Japanese stream where they confirmed this. Technically. Okay. It probably will come... I mean, I'm sure it will
Everyone's assuming that it's going to come to...
I don't see any reason why it's not. So yeah, nice Switch exclusive.
Yeah, that's very big.
Some people were surprised about it being Switch exclusive. I'm not, because Shin Megami Tensei games tend to be Nintendo, except for I think Nocturne, the third one, and Persona, at least the mainline Personas, tend to be PlayStation. So
yeah, I mean, I admittedly don't know a whole lot about Shin Megami Tensei. It's kind of a shame that we do not have Jacob here. Yeah, but. And, like, well, what is the popularity level kind of like for Shin Megami Tensei in America? Because I don't even, like...
I think it does well enough.
Would you get it?
Yeah, I played 4 and I liked it.
Cool.
Yeah, I have to see. The trailer looked dope. I should have showed you that.
Yes, I'll watch it later.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about that. And we will talk about that more as time comes. Okay, next thing is actually kind of more of an article thing. This comes from Alex Gileadov from IGN. Hitman Game of the Year Edition was announced. It will be released on November 7th, so like a little over a week from now, for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, and is priced at $60. It comes packaged with all previous release content of the first season of Hitman, including all 7 locations, all bonus missions, and challenge packs. New content such as new escalation contracts, a new UI, new lighting, and graphical enhancements, and a clown suit to try out. Also included is the new Patient Zero campaign, featuring 4 missions spanning familiar locations, but they're dressed up differently, with new dialogue, briefings, and audio tracks. And for those who already own everything from Season 1, you can purchase the upcoming new content via a $20 Game of the Year upgrade that IO Interactive is offering.
Cool.
So, yeah.
If you missed Hitman like we did, this might be an opportunity for you to get on that. I'll probably wait for it to be really cheaper, but yeah.
Well, that's an option. We're not getting this anytime soon.
No,
we
we're
get
not.
Too much stuff, especially you.
Way too much stuff.
You guys Zelda and Mario.
I'm told Jeff I'm putting in a hard lock on myself. I'm not buying any more games until Battlefront is not happening in any way, shape, or form.
I actually meant to ask you if there was even anything that you would even considering other than that.
At this point, no. At this point, I'm done. Yeah. I have for me right now, I think my trifecta of games is Persona 5, Zelda, and Mario. I gotta play those before I buy
Mario's the shortest. I think apparently I heard the beat is 15 hours, but if you try to go for everything, which we will probably do, it's closer to 40.
That's my life, Jeff.
I'm like, hey, that's kind of short than I was expecting. I'm hoping if I put enough time, I can maybe at least beat it for the most part before Xenoblade comes out next month or December. Gotta try. Okay.
All right, now dates. Sorry, I was a little early on the new dates for you.
Yep, or at least 2 of them. Okay. Metal Gear Survive release date was announced.
Remember that game?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is surprising. It's releasing February 20th for the US and February 22nd for Europe. I saw it, I was like, wait, what? Like,
Number one,
how much have we heard about this
They
game?
acknowledge that this game exists, and it doesn't come out that long from now. It's kind of crazy.
Darby, I think I heard this, and I saw people talking about it. I'm like, what is Konami thinking? Apparently, it's not going to be like a Battle Royale mode. Why isn't there one in this game? Why aren't they doing that?
I guess
Why aren't they pushing this thing
put that
back?
in there, they would have had to start putting that in there probably a lot sooner. But then again, Fortnite kind of like whooped that up. So
No, see, no one even
like you can say what are they thinking with a lot of Konami's decisions.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like for the most, everyone loves Metal Gear Solid 5's gameplay.
Right.
Like that was the thing most people loved about it. Some people loved the story, of course, but gameplay everyone loved. Putting that into a Battle Royale thing, they could have done that here. They could have pushed this thing back because no one expected this soon.
Yeah.
Or kind of at all. But
and it would have been some sort of draw.
Yes.
To get out of the negative press that this is getting. Yeah.
Because as far as I can tell, the only people who really want this game are Metal Gear fans who are kind of like, it's Metal Gear, okay.
I haven't seen those. I'm sure there's some of them,
I've
but
seen
I
a
haven't
few.
seen them. Look, the problem with this game is I have absolutely no clue who it's for.
Yeah.
Like, someone who's never played Metal Gear, the Metal Gear name, I mean, like, I know enough about it to know that it has almost nothing to do with Metal Gear, but, like, if I'm just a random consumer, if I haven't played Metal Gear, seeing the Metal Gear name makes me not want to touch it, because it's like, I haven't played any of the other Metal Gears, I haven't done it, I'm not in this world at all. If I'm a Metal Gear fan, then this is kind of just an affront to everything Metal Gear. Like, this is not for anyone.
Yeah.
Like, do you see any way that this game, like, kind of shocks the world and actually, like, ends up being really good? Or, like...
It could.
Because the white thing is, I could see, even if it's surprising and the gameplay's actually really good, I don't know if it's going to sell.
Here's the thing. We're getting too many of these, like, online multiplayer shooters. Oh, by the way, it's online only, always.
Yeah. Not too surprising,
Yeah.
but...
So... Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, next release date. Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming out in the US on January 26th. Hype. Now, something that's not hype. Season passes. $35.
Our
8
favorite.
characters. Yeah.
That's
That's a lot of money. I'm going to have to wait to see who the characters are.
it's over half the price of the game. Yeah, it kind of sucks.
I kind of did that for Injustice 2, but I can't do that for every fighting game.
And the weird thing, like, to me, I feel like fighting games should almost, for my personal use, be priced cheaper than normal games, because I get less time out of them, or less, yeah.
Fighting games should be the ones that try to do the games as a service thing.
Honestly, yeah. It works with, like, even ARMS is doing the other ones or whatever. Like,
I just realized, Injustice having loot boxes. Give me those characters for free.
like, actively, obviously the market, it works for them, or fighting games wouldn't be doing this, but I feel like fighting games charge you more money for things than almost any other type of game, and it's actually the type of game I would rather pay the least amount. Like, I feel like it's kind of like, even the fact that Injustice 2, to get all those characters and everything, it's like, you're almost like $100 or something, like,
Maybe.
yeah, something like that. And this is a weird comparison to make, but I feel like, you pay like $100-something to get Injustice with some extra characters. I paid $60 for The Witcher 3 and played it for like 2 years and did all this. Like, The Witcher 3 to me is way more valuable than any fighting game with some extra characters. So it's just weird. It's weird how these pricing things work. But
Just the way it is.
any chance of you getting that?
I might have to be very choosy.
Depends on how into the game you are.
Yeah, I mean, as far as getting the game, I'm getting it.
Yes.
Probably day one. As far as these characters, I'm probably going to be very picky. See how much I'm into the game, how much we're all into the game, and all that kind of stuff. So, we will see how that goes. Yeah, I imagine with the way the season price is, it's going to be a thing. Each character is priced $5, and the reason you get this season pass is you get the 8th character for free. So, I imagine that's how it's going to be. Moving on. Okay, Injustice 2 PC version has kind of been announced. I think it was already announced, but they said it's coming this fall on Steam and all that other stuff. But no release date. And they were supposed to have an online beta. It was pushed back. That has no date as well. So, stuff's happening, guys.
But it is coming this fall, apparently.
Happening.
but we're kind of already deep in the fall and they can't have a release date. But imagine a release date soon if it's still coming in fall.
Oh, yeah. I keep on forgetting how late in the year it is. Okay. Moving on. Quick thing. South Park, The Fractured But Whole came out recently. Mm-hmm. I've not touched it. Want to do that? But you can.
Yes.
You
touched that fractured bone.
I didn't mean to go that way. You did that. You did that. Now we're going to get an M rating. Okay.
For our podcast?
Yes.
The SRB is going to rate our podcast?
Yes. Now we're going to be like the Easy Allies and be put on the comedy section.
Well, me and you are just freaking hilarious, yes, Jeff.
We are. Because of that joke, Darby. It's all thanks to you. Okay. Anyway, getting back to the real thing. Ubisoft is doing a free 1-hour trial of the game on, I think, all the stores. So yeah, it stops you at an hour, and if you buy the game, the data from your playthrough carries over to the full game.
Which is good. That's the way it should be.
Yes. So
go try South Park.
You could go tonight and get farther than me. Yeah. By actually starting it.
I'm going to be playing Zelda, but you, dear listener, you have no excuse. Go do it.
Let me know how it is. The game I have, I got day one.
And take bets on when Jeff's actually going to play this game, because I imagine it's going to be a while.
We'll see. Okay. Now, Darby, we teased it some last week. We finally had the September NPD.
Because they was late.
They were late. Okay. Just gonna name out some facts. I'm gonna read everything on there. And just so people know, if you're wondering about last week, if you listened, we got some stuff wrong or didn't have the full context. So what we said was kind of meaningless. But let's just go on. Okay, just real quick stat. The total, I guess, revenue or whatever for gaming, it totaled $1.21 billion, which is up 39% last year.
Dang, son.
Yep. Okay, and first things first, the top 10 games, selling games for September. Number 1, Destiny 2. And that includes no Battle.net sales. Number 2, NBA 2K18. Number 3, Madden NFL 18.
None of those 3 are surprising.
Number 4, FIFA 18.
None of those 4 are surprising.
Number 5, okay, here's the surprising one. Yes. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. This includes no digital sales, which is another surprising thing. Is that high without that?
Yep.
Number 6, also surprising. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Apparently it's actually selling a little bit.
This is also surprising. Grand Theft Auto 5. I say that's surprising because it's not higher.
It's becoming less... Okay, there we go, yeah.
Number 8, NHL 18. Number 9, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. No digital sales, including that. Number 10, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. So, main news here. Destiny 2, Mario plus Rabbids, and Marvel vs. Capcom spots. All those are kind of news.
Yep.
Because Destiny 2, if you didn't listen to last week, it was reported that physical sales for Destiny 2, it didn't even get 50%.
Yeah, we're down a lot.
But we didn't have digital sales. And me and Darby talked about, how much would that be? How much would that boost it up? Apparently a lot. As you will find out in our next thing.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and move on.
I was going to say, Mario plus Rabbids, I'm happy it's doing that well.
Yeah, very.
And Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I am kind of...
surprised. I have heard nothing about that game since it released. So.
I've heard a lot of disappointment, and then some people who are really into the fighting game community, which are like, this is a really good fighting game. I'm like, okay, that's fair.
If you're happy.
Really good. Yeah. Now, this is just an interesting thing. The best-selling game in 2017 so far, number 1, Destiny 2.
Yeah, so much for the Destiny 2's not doing as well.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the best game of the entire year, and
sales-wise.
I mean, sales-wise. And it came out last month.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and if you've been following NPD numbers, number 2 may not be a surprise. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah, which came out in February. So it's kind of crazy how much Destiny 2 was sold.
Number 3, NBA 2K18. No surprise. 4, Madden NFL 18. No surprise. 5, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, including no digital sales.
So only Switch physical sales, and it's number 5. How about Zelda?
Probably also includes Wii U, so...
Yes. Yeah. But I imagine most of the, still, I mean, even if you consider that, that's still impressive.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it boosted at least.
And I think the Switch attach rate was
Well, at the beginning, there were more Zeldas out.
Yeah, there was more
bought
copies
than
of
Switches.
Exactly.
Number 6, Grand Theft Auto 5. I think he's the only game on here that wasn't released this year.
You sound so defeated.
It's like, when will this game die? Number 7, For Honor. 8, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
9, Injustice 2. And 10, kind of surprising, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess it still has the Mass Effect name, so it's still going to sell, but
Yeah.
it is kind of a little surprising about that.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah, I guess props to Legend of Zelda and Horizon for being the only two exclusives on here.
yeah, I've been thinking about, like, it's weird. I'm sure we're going to have this conversation more, so I won't talk about it much, like, when we get into, like, Game of the Year type talk. Whatever we decide to do for Game of the Year, whether it's just us talking about it or whatever. But
I'm probably gonna make us some goofy.
The more I play
categories.
Zelda, the more I do realize, like, I think I might have been a little wrong in my, like, early on in this podcast. Like, when I still do think Horizon and Zelda are definitely, like, two different things and, like, many standpoints. But they actually do have a lot more similarities than I like gave it credit for. Like, in just the gameplay loop and kind of the world and how you interact with it and stuff. Horizon's definitely way more about the combat and way more about its story, and just, like, the graphics are very gritty and realistic and all this other stuff. And Zelda's, you know, like, there's lots of differences, but there's still, like, I don't know, just like, me playing Zelda is giving me the feeling of playing Horizon again. And with beyond a shadow of a doubt, I'm not even all, in the grand scheme of things, too far into Zelda, and, like, these are my two favorite games of the year. Even Persona 5 in that mix, I mean, I think just me personally, Horizon and Zelda, two amazing RPGs. So.
I need to play Horizon. I don't know when I'm gonna get to that.
It's giving me a lot of Zelda vibes. If you like Zelda that much, you're gonna like it. So yeah.
Sure, I will. Whenever I get to it. Okay, we're keeping with a couple sales stories. Okay, first one, this comes from Saul Romano from Gamatsu. Total worldwide shipments and digital sales for Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age have exceeded 1 million units, Square Enix announced. Producer Hiroaki Kato said in a press release, "Thank you to all the fans for helping us reach this milestone. We are overwhelmed with the response from both new players and fans of the original. To commemorate the milestone, Square Enix has released a new illustration by Isamu Kamikakurio and a remastered version of the original title screen trailer." So,
is that something that... Okay. Was that something you could, like, get? Was that a...
I think they
just released new illustration.
Okay. I think it's in the article if you wanted to watch that later, Darby.
Okay, cool. So I'm very happy to see, like, any sort of, like, sales milestone for this game. I'm happy to see that I'm not alone, Jeff. I'm not alone in loving Final Fantasy XII, and that I'm glad to see, you know, I mean, like, 1 million for, like, a remake of a PS2 game that was highly controversial.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good, you know.
Well, especially with how the way this year is. I mean, admittedly, it did come out during a downtime in the year, but still, people were playing catch up still. Yeah.
So I mean, it's still, there's so much in this year, and even, like, in a normal year, I probably would have. I think I did play, like, around 15 hours of the remake earlier this year. It's just a giant game.
Yeah.
In a normal year, I think I probably would have went all the way through it because I was loving it. It's just, you know, Persona happened and all these other things happened.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah. But fantastic game. Happy to see that I'm not the only one who thinks that it's a fantastic game.
I mean, I don't have the love for you do necessarily, but I did play it. I loved it. When I did, it's totally underrated game, man.
Criminally underrated.
He's hated on too much.
And it kind of, like, I know I do it with other things, so I'm sure I'm hypocritical in saying it, but 12 was definitely one of those games where it kind of, like, gets on my nerves when I hear people just completely dismiss it who, like, obviously know nothing about it, who obviously they played it for, like, 2 hours back on the PS2 and were like, nope, it's not normal Final Fantasy, and then forever the rest of their lives they're like, no, Final Fantasy's terrible, how could you say, you know.
Or Final Fantasy 12. You said Final Fantasy in general.
Final Fantasy 12 is terrible. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of, like, news people, that, like, media people who I'll follow who are just have very, like, just kind of uninformed, you know, blunt statements on Final Fantasy 12. And I'm like, this game did so many cool things.
You see some people say it's an off game. Awful? I mean, you may not care for it, but awful?
Like, there is no one can look at that game and say, like, this is a poorly made, bad game. You can say it's not for you, but to say that it was just objectively, like, a bad quality game, like, no. It's, it did. The systems were, like, very, very interesting.
Okay, Darby, ready to move on to more sales news about the game you bought this year?
Yes.
Okay, in an interview with Venture Beat's Dean Takahashi, Ninja Theory chief creator director Tamim Antoniadis, I butchered that, okay.
Yeah, you go, dude.
Talked about Hellblade sales. This is just a quote. It sold better than our expectations. We're doing one more dev diary where we'll give out numbers and details how it's done. We want the data out there so other developers, if they want to do something similar, they have a data point, hopefully to encourage them to do more games like this. I think it's almost broke even, or it's about to break even in the next couple of weeks. I'd have to check. We weren't expecting to break even for 6, 8, 9 months on this game. It looks like within 3 months, it will have broken even and then some. Of course, because we self-published it, it's the first time we're getting the bulk of the money back, which is amazing. We own the IP this time. It's opened up a bunch of doors and possibilities that we just didn't have until this point. In terms of a model, I'd say it's a success.
So awesome.
I would agree with him.
And it's like way more than I ever would have thought it was, and I'm so happy for it. Like, I feel like, and it's not that, like, I don't really suffer from mental health problems or anything, so it's not really that, but, like, I feel like a, like, connection to this game, just because everything they were trying to do, and it's Ninja Theory going on their own. Yeah. It's this, like, kind of trying to bring back the mid-tier game. It's very experimental. It's, like, you know, it's, you know, kind of a game for, like, highlighting mental illness and all this stuff. They even did that. They did like the charity thing where they're like giving money.
I hated that I forgot about it. I was gonna buy it that day.
But just all these things on top of each other. Like, I've always liked Ninja Theory, but this year I just feel like, you know, it's just such a success story. That, and like leading up to it, me and you were like, you know, this is an interesting game, but I kind of in this climate, there's no way it's going to rise to the top. And somehow in this year, they still managed to get in everyone's attention. And
this is one of my still try to fit in because of how short it is compared to everything else. I might try to fit.
And it's a game that had a lot of problems, but like I just really love what they were trying to do with it. And I'm glad that they're being rewarded for this. So that like I imagine Hellblade. I mean, I imagine Ninja Theory is probably going to do this again, being independent. And like doing a very like experimental, making the game they want to make. I don't see Ninja Theory saying, "Well, this we have to go back to a publisher now."
They're gonna do this until it fails,
right? And I hope it does inspire other people to do things like this.
Well, I agree, and this is good news overall. I am curious of something. I saw this story on Resetera. Now I'm gonna get used to this thing. I guess from there now. Talk about it. And some people brought up some points that I kind of found interesting, saying like, is this potentially something that might scare away developers from doing this? Because this game got a lot of praise, and it sold, like, we can tell quickly that it sold a lot better, and it's just now about to break even. That potentially scared developers away, you think?
Is that not common? I imagine that might not be that uncommon of a thing with these with a lot of games like this. But
yeah, I'm just kind of more like it. This game's selling well. It is a mid-tier game, so it does take less money. But it's took them this much to do it. Because most people figured it probably broke even a while ago. But obviously,
I mean, I guess it is different. Yeah, when it's your own, you're incurring all the costs. You're doing all of this. It's going to cost a lot more when it's not like a big company funding it.
Not all of those games are going to be the hit that this.
I mean, like, I think the concept of Hellblade, like. Or at least, like, I think that a developer, like, bear with me, I'm just kind of, like, coming up with this as it goes. But, like, I think a developer could see what Hellblade did and kind of use the idea of, like, we're going to make our own, like, creative vision, do all of this. It doesn't necessarily have to look as good as Hellblade. I think part of the cost of Hellblade is it looks like a AAA game. Mm-hmm. Like, the visuals and the, like, graphics and everything are stunning. It doesn't really look like it would be a mid-tier game. It's just kind of, like, more limited gameplay-wise, and it's shorter, and that's probably, that's kind of why it's not, like, your traditional $60 game. But, I'm just saying, I think there could be ways to do something like this on a slightly smaller scale that's not as expensive and stuff like that. So, like, maybe they won't bring back the mid-tier game necessarily, like from an indie standpoint, but
Yeah.
just creatively, I think it can inspire cool things.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. I just in general, this doing well is just a good thing.
It is.
Again, even if it doesn't, the mid-tier game completely comes back, it will hopefully mean we at least get more of that.
Yeah, and more of like, I like this because like in film, lots of Oscar-winning films and like good like high-selling films are very like high-concept art. I just saw Blade Runner, probably like my favorite movie of the year. Well, this is a bad example because it didn't sell well, but like in film they're not afraid to like target like very high concepts, things like that. But I feel like we don't get it in games very often.
Yeah.
So I like that Ninja Theory is able to show you can have this very weird, very like kind of artsy game like this, but it actually works. So
I'm very interested to see how Hellblade does in the game of the year discussion. I bet it's going to be up for nomination on some of them. It might even win a thing or two.
I can see like at some site it's gonna be. I imagine it's gonna be in most people's nominations because it's a game that like I feel like deserves to be talked about in that discussion. There's no way, shape, or form I would vote for it to win just because there's too many games this year. But I feel like it deserves to be in the conversation.
No, I'm just I think in general like it's gonna do better than people originally thought.
And especially like I connect with the game, but there's people who like really connect with the game because it's kind of talking about their experience. And those people, I've seen a lot of people say like this is my personal favorite game of this year, and I totally get that.
Definitely. Okay, we're gonna move on to I guess some hardware type things. Hardware section of the thing.
More deaths.
Yes. Yeah, okay. This comes from Matt Davis of IGN. Microsoft has confirmed that it's no longer manufacturing the Xbox Kinect accessory, with Alex Kipman, creator of the Kinect, and Matthew Larson, general manager of Xbox Devices Marketing, confirming the news in an interview with Co-Design.
Kinect is dead. Long live Kinect.
Yep. Microsoft will continue to support customers who bought Kinect, but it's unclear whether developer tools will remain supported. Crickets. I mean, I doubt many people care.
I mean, Kinect was kind of, in ways, like Kinect was kind of like just ahead of its time, because if you think about now, everyone has Alexas in their house. They're all like talking to it and doing all this or whatever. Kinect was, maybe if Kinect came out now, it would work better, but it was also just the way that like Xbox like forced it to be in Xbox Ones and all that stuff. It was just
made rare.
It was just a bad history.
Made rare Kinect developer making Kinect games.
It was just one of those like kind of gimmicky things, and they took a gamble. They tried to push Kinect very hard, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. So I'm ready to move on to.
Yeah. Also, just sidebar that my sister had an Xbox 360, and she got the Star Wars Kinect game. Probably one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire life. It was pretty freaking terrible. There was like a Dance Dance Revolution like style game with Star Wars themed songs that Han Solo and other alien buddies would dance to.
There's a Dragon Ball Kinect game. I never played it, but it looks garbage.
But you can Kamehameha your TV probably, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You could live that dream.
But I can do that with my Street Fighter 2 game.
You could also just do that in your room with imagination.
I did that when I was 5. I'm over that now. Okay, moving on. This comes from Joe Scrabbles from IGN. There's been an unexpected, unmentioned addition to Nintendo Switch with its 4.0.0 update. GameCube controllers, when using the Wii U's USB adapters, now work with the system. Twitter user Master Mewking was among the first to discover the new controller support. It's not foolproof as yet, with many users reporting that it takes multiple attempts to pair a pad, perhaps explaining why Nintendo hasn't publicized the event. No, because they didn't know it was happening. It happened either. They were surprised too. The process is on paper fairly simple. Make sure your Switch is set to step to wired controllers, plug the adapter in, plug the controller in, choose the pair of controllers, then press L, and up to 4 GameCube controllers can be used simultaneously. Yeah. All Switch games appear to be compatible with the GameCube controllers, although there is a caveat. You won't be able to use any ZL commands or the home button. Yeah.
How do you go to the home then? Would you have to unplug it and use a Joy-Con?
Yeah, I'm going to have to just do it, yeah.
I mean, that's part of them not even knowing this was happening. That's so funny to me. It's like, whoops, we accidentally
made a controller compatible.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and of course, there was an interview with Reggie pretty much, him saying like Yeah, we were surprised too.
We're just as surprised as you were.
And as Darby mentioned beforehand, I think he tried to look. I think there was some news thing about them doing a patch that took it out.
I couldn't find anything.
I think it was made. If it did happen, it was only for certain like GameCube controller adapters. It was either you could only use third-party ones or third-party ones were taken out. It's one of those. If it was true.
Yeah, I tried to do some Google searches and couldn't find anything. Yeah. So
and of course, people's imaginations went wild. And they were like, GameCube Virtual Console coming?
That, and I saw like people saying like,
Smash.
Does this mean that Smash is all but confirmed to be coming soon? Because they're like, everyone likes to play the GameCube controller Smash. Obviously, we cannot read anything into this because they didn't even mean to do it. Yep. So, yeah.
And I was excited for this one before they said that. It's like, our imagination's coming wild. What could this mean? It means nothing.
It's like, oh, come on, Reggie. Don't kill our dreams.
Yeah, well, I guess we have another controller option. Well, we don't, but people do. So I'm not buying one of those. Okay, moving on. This comes from Joe Scrubs from IGN. Insomniac CEO Ted Price has once again explained that his company is open to making a sequel to Sunset Overdrive, but would need a partner for that. Speaking on Insomniac's Twitch stream, Price was asked whether any of the studio's own IP can make a return. He said, Sunset Overdrive is something that I know a lot of our fans talk about wanting to see the sequel. We need a partner for that. That's a big game. Sunset 2 would be a very large scope game, end quote. He continued by explaining that because the company wholly owns the IP, a new publisher can mean a sequel would appear across multiple platforms, moving away from the first game's Xbox One exclusivity.
So obviously the subtext is Microsoft turned this down. Like Microsoft is not on board for that. That's the obvious under like
Did not sound great.
No, it did not.
It's a good video game.
Yeah, it's one of the things that it kind of sucks. I mean, it sucks that this is a game that like they're willing to make. It's just they kind of need someone on it.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance this is something that like Sony or anyone else would pick up?
Obviously, Nintendo's going to pick it up.
Okay, I have a Switch now, so sure.
I'm not saying it's happening. I'm slightly joking, but if I'm being honest, I would not be surprised to wake up one morning and seeing they're like, okay.
It would kind of fit somewhat on the Switch. I mean, it's kind of more adult themed than most.
Yeah, but it's goofy and stuff.
It's goofy like that. Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo had a exclusive Bayonetta game.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Okay, let me put it this way: they had No More Heroes. Like Sunset Overdrive, No More Heroes. Sorry.
Than the game, it would more be weird to be like, oh, Insomniac's working on an exclusive Nintendo game. But I mean, it was weird when they did this exclusive Microsoft game. Yeah. So it's not out of their own possibility.
Sony could do it, and there are a lot of possibilities for this.
It's something that's probably hard for a publisher to buy into. Like, yes, we should fund this very big, probably expensive game that's a sequel to something that barely sold. It's hard to sell, even though I don't know this, but I've always thought that a big reason why it didn't sell as well is because it was on the Xbox, and
that didn't help.
I don't already Xbox One wasn't selling as well, and I kind of just feel like the PlayStation audience would probably be a better fit for that kind of game.
Yeah. There's no audience be better fit for that game.
Yeah, I mean, the more, because it's more like platformy kind of. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how exactly you describe. Just kind of like sandbox platformy third-person shooter type game. Yeah. But it's not as it's just. I don't mean to just trivialize it, but most of the time, most of the Xbox catalog is more of first-person shooters and.
I mean, what could particularly help this game being picked up is the fact Insomniac can now put down from the studio that brought you the Spider-Man game. Yeah. And they can take what they learned from Spider-Man and put it into this game. Yeah. Pretty much what they did. I'm assuming they're going to take a lot from what they learned from Sunset Overdrive and put in this game.
And probably after Spider-Man, Insomniac's going to be even more of a household gaming name. Yeah. Than they are now. They're already one of the big ones, but that's probably going to push them over the edge.
Indeed. No. I need to finish this game. It's so good.
I hope so. I've seen a lot of people were like, no, I want you to make it even though I didn't even play the first one, but I love the idea of the first one, and that's kind of,
yeah.
If I had an Xbox, I would have probably played it.
Yep, it's fun. Okay.
Alright, well, I'm going to call the audible and skip that last one. So, that was our last news story. So, Jeff.
So, Darby.
Today is October 27th, the holy day of video games. Praise be to Knack.
Yes.
That means that Halloween is
Knack
very
3 came out today?
soon. I almost wanted to introduce this podcast and be like, it's a very big day, Jeff, and then just say how many days after Knack 2 it was. It'd be like, now is the time for reflection. Let's talk about it.
Cut that out so we can use that later.
Okay, I can do that. So, Jeff, for our main topic, it's probably going to be pretty short. I just wanted to talk about times that you've been scared in video games and times that, the times that you got spooked, whether you were a little kid Jeff, or adult Jeff. Because I have some moments.
A little different. The only many moments I've been like scared, but a little creeped out / uneasy. But straight up scared. I don't know if I can exactly say that. Or freaked out a little bit. I don't know.
I was gonna start like the first thing that came to my mind when I thought about this is like I remember being however little I was, very little, playing Final Fantasy VII. And I was playing it at our family like went to a beach house. Like you've been with us when we did that. Yeah, we go every year. And there was like, so we were in the section. If you ever play Final Fantasy VII, I guess just mild spoilers. Not really for a game that came out in 1997.
Don't care about.
Yeah, not.
Aerith dies.
Someone just like spat out their coffee. Like, what? We were in the section. We were in the Shinra building, and you've been taken prisoner. So you're like in you're being held in like these cells, and you wake up and like Cloud wakes up in the night, and like his cell is open, and there's like a trail of blood like going out of it, and you're like, okay, what's this? And remember, keep in mind, this is like freaking 6-year-old Darby, or however old I was. And there's this very creepy music. I'll like talk about this more another time, but Final Fantasy VII has like I think one of the best soundtracks ever. It's partly nostalgia and partly because it's just great. And it has this like really creepy music, and it's dark, and you're having to follow this like trail of blood, and it's like everything's dark. You're getting in fights with these like spooky monsters and everything. Meanwhile, while I'm doing this, outside in real life is like literally to this day the worst thunderstorm I've ever been in my entire life. It was just every few minutes this gigantic pow would go off like a giant gunshot, and the entire the room would light up, and it was like it would happen all like every few minutes. And me and my friend Tyler,
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, we were both following these blood trails and doing all this or whatever. And when we got to the end, you see Genova, which, if you know anything about Final Fantasy VII, it's like this giant, like creepy monster with female body parts and like weird tentacles and all this other stuff. As a little kid, very terrifying. And
I fought that in Crisis Core. I can't remember.
You probably did. And like it like came up and it showed like Genova's face, and then the lightning struck, and we both like threw the controller across the room. And then like I looked at him, I was like, "You want to just play in the morning?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, we'll just play in the morning." I literally couldn't sleep that night, and I ended up like having to go to like my grandparents' room and be like, "I can't sleep, I can't sleep because of the video game." They're like, "Maybe you shouldn't play that anymore." I'm like, "But I want."
But it's good though.
And the next morning, when the broad daylight, it wasn't scary at all. But like, it's amazing that even someone who was born, I was born like 2 years before that game came out, and it looks like polygons and like terrible. It does not look realistic at all, but it was able to scare me half to death. Do you have any?
Okay. Thing is, I don't have any big detailed stories.
Yeah. Because
my life is a blur.
Jeff did have 3 concussions in his life.
I did. There's a whole day of my life I have no memory of. Okay, I'm just going for default ones that a lot of people can, agree with. Mm-hmm. In the N64 days, that giant freaking eel from Mario 64.
Oh, God.
And just another one, the deaf hand thing from Ocarina of Time. I will show you, Darby.
The Majora's Mask kind of spooked me.
I put that just in general.
Yeah, that was definitely That's one of those that was probably a little too creepy for a kid's game for show.
Yeah. And then there's this.
It's like Courage the Cowardly Dog. How was that?
Dude from Ocarina of Time.
Oh god, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, Dead Hand from Ocarina of Time. People who know that. Just Google any of this stuff.
I even remember, kind of just like talking generally now. I even remember in Twilight Princess that Yeti dude kind of his face like he just like slinged, or maybe it was a girl. I don't know. But she was like slinged around. It's like like right in your face. I was like, Jesus, terrifying. Yeah. Terrifying stuff. I mean, do you have any others?
I got a couple of things. For those recent things that just had a creepy factor, Little Nightmares were creepy in ways with the art style. Just the way it was with the character designs. Yeah. I think it added to it, the creepiness factor.
Yeah, the game just looks unsettling.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, very unsettling and made you want to get out of this place as fast. It added to it. You need to play that game. I got the physical copy.
I do. Like, I was actually I meant to ask you, like, where does like Little Nightmares and like Night in the Woods and stuff, like, where do those sit in like your game of the year type things? Are those like in the discussion, or are those kind of like?
I mean, as far as like the top spots, no, but they'll be somewhat up there. For sure. I mean, and it's also partly the amount of games I played, but I still really like them a lot.
Yeah.
Night in the Woods so good, man.
But on that, like, also Inside definitely gave me some of that. Like, there were moments in Inside where I'd like my heart started beating kind of heavy, like, especially you're like running from the dog or whatever that like comes around. Like you have like just enough time to like escape it and like, get out of the way. And I think you were pretty like. I think you said something about it.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, I guess mild. Like, all right. I guess if you don't want to know anything about any like. There is like an enemy inside that's kind of like memorable, and you probably want to go into it blind. So just skip ahead like a few seconds or whatever. Yeah, that girl or whatever in the water.
Yeah. Ugh, I hated those.
So, like, I legitimately like I was like, I might have to put this game down for a little bit because like I was playing it at night too. And it's just like, God, I want to get away. It's like, you go back down. Oh, get away. It's just, girls were terrifying.
Yeah. There's one other game for the PS2 called Baroque. I had to stop playing this game.
I have to see.
Let's see. Didn't look great, but at the time, let's see, bunch of little creepy guys.
You.
Yeah. Apparently it was teen. Some of the stuff is, yeah.
That's pretty
I was a young
unsettling.
Yeah.
Also, one of the scariest video games to a little kid Darby was, I think it was Silent Hills 2.
See, here's the thing. Part of me I don't have those as a little kid because I stuck with Nintendo stuff in my younger years. So none of the scary
you had a very
stuff.
Happy, nice childhood. I was torturing myself with.
I mean, Zelda had scary stuff.
It did, but Silent Hill was something that I probably shouldn't have been messing with.
Probably.
As a little kid.
Oh, if we were just talking about scary stuff, and okay, I got one thing. It's not a game, but
that's fine.
I've told you about this. I think I saw Sleeping Hollow when I was like 5 or 4. I had nightmares for a long time. My grandma showed it to me at the daycare or whatever. She ran. My mom was not happy. She was furious.
Why did they show it in the daycare?
I have no idea. The older kids want to watch it. I was like, I want to watch, because I was a dumb little kid. I was like, I want to watch it.
They're like, sure, Jeff.
I had nightmares for a long time.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah. If I was going to get murdered every night. So that's what I have as far as that kind of horror stuff.
Also, I can't have this discussion without talking about PT. I remember, like, I think it was freshman year in college. It was me and Jacob. He's been on this podcast. We, like, PT was when that happened, it was just, like, I guess if somehow you don't know what PT is, it was.
They're listening to this, they know.
Huh?
They're listening to this and made it this far, they know.
It was basically a playable trailer for Silent Hills, but no one knew the Silent Hills game that was canceled, but no one knew until you did all these crazy things to like finish it. But it was just like kind of like shadow drop. It was just this weird thing, and I remember we were both that night. We were like, we heard everyone talking about it, so he downloaded it, and I was sitting there like we were playing. I was playing it with him, and I was trying to like look up things online to figure out how to crack the code of it and stuff. I think it involved you having a microphone, which we didn't have, so it was kind of impossible for us to do it anyway. But we were trying to do as much as we could.
People figure all this stuff out.
Oh, it's insane! Like the things they had to do. Even the people who made it were like, we did not expect people to find it this fast. We're like, how did you guys do it? I have to think a developer had to have leaked it to someone, but that's the only way I can think. But anyway, like, and so like we've sat there until like 2 a.m. just like trying to figure all this out, and there was like so many times like there was the jump scares that scared us obviously, but just you go through this hallway and it just slowly gets like more and more and more creepy. And I remember one specific moment he was sitting there in the hallway just like kind of idle, just staring down the hallway for a long time. And I was like, while I was like trying to look up things, when I look up and I see this like silhouette of the monster or whatever, whoever she was, and I'm like, oh God, Jacob, it's right there, it's right there. And he's like, no, it's not. I don't see anything. And I was like, no, Jacob, like look like right there. And like he got like really close to the TV screen. And he was like, oh God, because he could like barely make it out. That PT was just so well made. I legitimately can't play PT. I have to watch other people.
See, that's the thing with this topic is, again, well, you had some scary stuff when you were young. I, unintentionally avoided that stuff. And now, for horror games, though, you can't play them.
Some of them. I can play some things. PT is just too real.
I just don't care to play them.
I mean, I can maybe play Evil Within too. It sounds like more psychological horror than just spooks. But yeah, that's about it. I have other things like I think me and one of my ex-girlfriends played. I think it was Ib. What's the name of the game? It was like this PC game that we like downloaded. Very very like creepy art. The art style and everything was very 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 creepy. And
this is like it could be it, maybe.
That's it. You're like in this art gallery or whatever. You're this little girl, and you like I forgot what exactly happens, but like something happens with a painting. Yeah, I mean that's just like fan stuff.
It looks pretty anime.
Yeah, it's kind of anime, but like you're in like you look at some painting thing, you faint, and then like suddenly like your parents are gone, everyone's gone. You like end up in this painting world, and there's all this weird stuff, and you can have like a million different endings in the game. It was very creepy. Very creepy.
Sounds like one of my Japanese animes.
Yeah, I mean it was totally like a very Japanese type thing. I am getting a phone call. Well, Jeff.
Well, Darby.
So for Halloween, are you gonna play any spooky games? Or just play Mario and just wait for a spooky level?
Yes.
There might be a spooky Mario level.
There might be.
They might go to Luigi's Mansion. You never know.
That'd be dope.
That would be dope. Sorry. I was stalling because there was something I wanted to say. For Halloween, if you are looking for... We've said this before, but if you're looking for a game to play with a significant other or friends on Halloween, play Until Dawn. You should have it already on a PlayStation Plus download, but if you missed that...
Darby, are you assuming people's consoles?
I am. Well, I guess I was. If you have a PlayStation, you should have gotten it on that, unless you just forgot that month. But either way, it can't be that much money. Get Until Dawn is really funny. It's a really fun game and funny game.
Yep.
And it's like scary, but not too scary to certain people, at least to us, at least not. But Olivia was pretty scared.
She's scared by everything, man. Stranger Things probably scares her.
Oh, I want to watch Stranger Things. I'm not going to have time, Jeff. There's too many things.
Indeed. But also, thinking of Dawn, Hidden Agenda's out. Oh, cool, Max.
Did you pick it up?
They were out. It was awkward. I was looking around. The guy asked me to say anything. Asked if I need anything. He's like, oh yeah, I'm looking for a blah blah blah. He looked and said, oh, we have one. Look for it. Oh, I guess we sold it and it's not updating the computer. It's like, I could order it for you. You're like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
They're really good for all that.
GameStop always. I'm guessing.
No, it's Best Buy.
Best Buy. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like $20. So I'll probably get it. I get awards points for Mario and South Park, so
cool.
Yeah, do that.
We'll be playing that soon, and we will let you know. I'm also going to try to play Life is Strange the episode 2 of that soon. We'll hopefully have a spoiler cast maybe next week or something. I know Zelda has been, that's been my life.
And Mario now.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world.
It is a whole new world, Jeff. But thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Follow us, Nerds at Large on Twitter, Nerds at Large on Facebook, all that stuff. We should have more stuff. I know we keep saying this, but we should actually have more stuff coming up. We're making steps towards like Let's Plays and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that.
Yep.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.